4 minutes? For porn? A lot of people were really looking forward to In Time, myself included. It looks like a very original story. I mean, yes, there are probably many things you could compare it to, or, find derivatives, but overall it just seemed like a fresh idea, and it actually looked like it was being handled very well. Trailers were stylistic, they were cool. Justin Timberlake looked like he was going to be awesome, man, Seyfried. Most things pointed to a good movie, although I did have some doubts. For some reason, movies like this always look good, but you have that lingering feeling that it just is going to get screwed up really badly. The reviews have come out and they've been middling to negative, so I wasn't sure what to think. I mean, I was still looking forward to it. I still think it looked good. But I will say that I actually did enjoy this movie. It is a lot of fun, but it is more of an action movie than I would have liked it to be. I'm not saying I was expecting it to be anything else, but as I said, and I think the main intrigue here is the concept. It's a very, very cool concept, and it's done well. Unfortunately, it's just not developed enough. The main story with Justin Timberlake, Cillian Murphy, them stealing time, is developed a little more, but the underlying story of time instead of money and all the complexities that go along with that, it really just is not fleshed out enough. And it's unfortunate because I think they could have done it really well. It's just in the context of the story, the fact that they use time as currency really isn't gone too much into, and that's kind of a disappointment. While I liked the rest of the movie, I really just wish they did more with that. Visually, this movie was fantastic. It just looked great. And I'm not talking about the lead actresses. Suave. Really, because Olivia Wilde and Amanda Seyfried looked amazingly hot in this movie. Just gonna get that out there, now it's out there. But they also gave great performances, which counts more. It really does. Those two together, good combination. And for girls, there is the eye candy of Justin Timberlake, who also gives a pretty good performance. It's actually, the performances all around are very good, especially from Cillian Murphy. He always is good, no matter what he's in. He really plays the character very well. It's not a very original character, but he adds a lot to it just because he's a good actor. Another big thing in this movie is its morality themes, which were very heavily marketed, and I don't have a problem with that. Sometimes they are a little too overt and don't play into subtext very well, but most of the time they work very well, and it is one of the strong points of this movie. It has a good, deep message, and it's good rooted, and it doesn't feel like it's being shoved in our faces. Any common human archetypes, but are brought very well into an action scenario, and the action is very good. I think there is some lag time when there's not a lot going on. It doesn't have so much to fall back on. Some of the interrelationships aren't that great and don't feel genuine, but I think a lot of things for this movie can be forgiven because it's overall just a really fun movie that actually has deep and complex undertones. I don't see that a lot. Unfortunately, it's not going to get a lot of credit for that because it does have a lot of generic flaws, and that's unfortunate, but I give this movie a lot of credit for overall. I do like this movie, and if you had previous interests in seeing it, I'd still recommend it. It's still worth checking out. There are better movies out in theaters right now, but this one's good. I'm pushed between a 6.5 and a 7. I'll give it a 7. Buffering! No, buffering, no!